Welcome to part 3 of this times. Whatever day it is. Something. 2012. I'm here to talk to you about me. Me. Yep. I'm going to talk about me. So I spent the last 2 weeks working in the city, and it was brought to my attention by some people that I have multiple personalities, which I already know because I have that in my tweets. It says like I am affected by multiple personalities, but it's really not true. In the mental illness sort of facility, it is in terms of because people were like, oh, but you're on stage, you're like this, and like on the train, like talking to us, doing your job, you're like this. And then at home you're like a total introvert. Like, what do you like? Is this like all just for show? And I'm like, no. What it is I exist to give people the opportunity to identify with me in whatever capacity I might find myself interacting with them in the moment. Wow, that came out really smooth. That was awesome. Anyways, so what that means is some moments have system requirements. So, like, if you're a Mac user, like I'm not, which I've dabbled in, you're like, OMG, need more games, not enough games, too much computer for not enough awesome. So then you go to your PC and you're like, oh, not enough awesome for too much games, need more awesome. Because if you're a Mac user, you don't really look at your system requirements. You're like, it's a pretty decent Mac. It's fairly new. So you just load up your game and you're good to go, or load up your program, your Photoshop, your video, whatever thingamajigger changing editor, and then so you really don't care because you're like, I own a Mac. Macs run everything. That's amazing. You should just have a Mac because it's fantastic. It doesn't give viruses. It's a Mac. It's a Mac. It's a Mac. You should own a Mac. It's a Mac. Don't you like Macs? I like Macs. Macs are great. They never get viruses and they're amazing. But they don't have any games. But then if you're a PC user, you're like, my PC is not very new. I should check the system requirements. So then you pull up the back of the game and you're like, yeah, I got that one. Yeah, I got that one. No, I don't get that one. So maybe I can run it on a lower setting? Yeah, I can run it on a lower setting. Oh wait, this is the lowest settings. Damn it. So then, yeah, you do that for every game. So you're like, you move on to the next game and you're like, this game's system requirements. Yeah, I can do this, I can do this. Do this. Yeah, oh, I can run this on max settings. Oh, I don't even want to play this game. Okay. And then you pull out another game that you really like, and you're like, oh, this is great. I can do this in medium settings. Yeah, I can totally do it in medium settings. But then you get home and you install it, and you find out that something about the developer's game thing, like, doesn't work with your current video card. So you're like, even if you update the drivers, so same thing. So then you got to go into the code of the game after researching for like 2 hours how to fix the problem. You go in and edit the thing, you edit the stuff that does the game, so the game, you can play the game because the game now works but only on medium settings, and it turns out that even after you do the fix, it still runs. You get past the loading screen, but now you have to run it on base settings, and so it's really not that fun anyway, but it loads really fast because you've got lots of RAM. So like, you can see far, and go far, and do it fast. You just can't, you don't see it very well. Or it doesn't look very good. So anyway, where am I going with this? System requirements for the moment. In my job atmosphere, like in certain different atmospheres, there are system requirements. So like when I'm being introverted, the only system requirement is that whatever I'm doing benefit others in whatever capacity I can. And usually that's poetry or tweets or writing comedy or writing on my novels or writing something. Writing. It's usually all about writing. But anyways, when I'm on the train or I'm going to work or I'm on the streets, or I'm doing whatever, there are no system requirements. So I can be however funny or however not funny I'd like to be in the moment in order to facilitate an interaction with you, whether that be you are a douchebag and you're bullying someone and then I have to confront you about your morals because you're an idiot on behalf of yourself because you want to feel better about yourself because you don't know how. But you're extremely confident in the fact that you're a douchebag. Which you're not really confident, it's a facade. Your paper personality was purchased, well, by your parents, because all the clothes that you're wearing are, well, I mean, they're yours, but I mean, or they're paid for by work. And if you work to own your clothes, so your clothes own you, and your personality owns you, because you work to facilitate your ownership and your facade of this personality. Whereas me, I don't really own anything, or have anything, or do anything in terms of spending money, so I can be however I want to be when I want to be. Which is odd to some people because it's like, why? I don't understand. Like right now you're super funny, and then the next moment you're like in a super serious conversation talking about the environment and how a certain computer manufacturer has like the biggest e-waste on the planet because they continuously are producing brand new technology that doesn't adapt to the old technology and it just doesn't fit together. So like every time you have a problem, you just have to upgrade, and they scrap the old one. They don't even bother repairing it, so they can save money by not repairing it and forcing you to buy new equipment. So yeah, that's not. Yeah. So anyways, the system requirements for the moment. Whatever that means. If you're in a raid, obviously there are system requirements for that moment. Like friggin', if you're a healer like me, or you're tanking, like when I'm on my warrior, you're like, you have to be able to facilitate the awesomeness that keeps the rest of your people alive in that moment. Otherwise, they're all going to die, and they're going to be really upset with you, especially that rogue that's going to come at you from behind. And you really don't want to deal with the rogue that's coming at you from behind, because if he does come at you from behind, chances are he's got daggers, and they're legendary, and they're socketed, and they've got landslide on both of them. And he's going to ambush you, and it's going to be all sorts of nasty on your behind. So you might as well just keep everybody alive. Even if the rogue forgets to trick up to the trace to you, or go in combat in stealth mode, whereby he just walks out in the middle and he pulls the boss and blames you because he vanishes instantly, but somebody else has already walked into combat, and it was the hunter who didn't misdirect you because he didn't know the rogue was going to walk out into the boss, not in stealth mode. So he tries to misdirect, and he doesn't misdirect because he's got a mouse over, and he accidentally mouse overs a healer. So you got to be able to taunt, and if you don't have vigilance on the healer, then your taunt doesn't reset well after you taunted off the rogue or that other person that just walked out, and then you're like, oh my goodness, I'm really, really confused right now. I just need another taunt. And then you open your spellbook, and you remember that you have the warrior taunt that taunts everybody at the same time. That I can't remember what his name is because I'm talking way too fast. But that's awesome, right? Talking fast is really awesome. Anyways, so you do your heroic throw, because that usually gets a shit ton of aggro, and then that doesn't work, so you're like, oh, shattering throw, and then you totally have aggro. But the aggro only lasts for a second before somebody else throws aggro, and then it's the other tank, and you're like, oh my goodness, the other tank has aggro. I'm supposed to take the first cleave. Oh my goodness! I'm supposed to fade when the fade thing, because I get the thing on me that requires me to fade because it's that boss that does the madness thing, or madness, that's the one. And then, so then you're like, I don't want to have the thing that has the fade, so I need to do the thing. So then your taunt's off cooldown, so you taunt off the other tank, and then after you taunted off the other tank, the rogue was right there on aggro. And you all die. Because you taunted and had to fade. And you faded, and the other tank, and then a rogue down. And a rogue died, and he was complaining while the rest of the fight happened. Because he died, but in his mind, the fight was over. Like, he was a wipe, because he was doing top DPS, right? So the fight's over. But anyways, you live on to defeat Madness, and the hunter that did the misdirect thing that was awesome, that repaired everybody, was like, oh, shit, sorry. Did 50k DPS, and you guys won. Yay! So yeah, system requirements in the moment. What are your system requirements? Do you want to empower hilarity, selfishness, or a mode of something, of your personality, your humanity in the moment? You can do whatever. You can do hilarity, you can do conversations, you can do bullying, you can do intellectual bullying as well. You can all sorts of bullying. But are you doing that on behalf of your selfishness to get something, either that you feeling better, or money or sex, or feeling good about yourself, or whatever that is? Are you doing it to make others feel better, have a better day, even just smile? I just want you guys to smile. Smiling is like dropping a pebble into a pond. You never know if it might reach the ocean of humanity, whereby everyone begins smiling at one another and everybody has a fantastic day. So anyways, I've decided that in part 2, I'm not going to talk about my girl nipples on my moves. I'm going to talk about what I just said.